Hey everybody, it is Garrett again, and with Poetic Artifacts, and today I wanted to go over another lesson with Paradise Lost. Now, last time we went over Paradise Lost, we talked about the clarification of the line, "Better to reign in hell than serve in heaven." Okay. And again, we're going to be referencing some theological concepts, so again, if this isn't your video, feel free to click on or go somewhere else. But if you want to stay, stay. But anyways, so one of the other important things is there is a discussion with Adam and I think an angel, Raphael, who discusses many of the bigger, I would say, underlying uh, philosophical questions regarding like life and the universe and whatnot. And I think it's important to note that this conversation does end up being more the angel Raphael sort of explains to Adam that he shouldn't, worry about these things so heavily. However, I do think there is a bit of contradiction in that statement, in the sense that um, there is the initial preface from the angel himself to actually explain to uh, Adam that indeed these things are still important to acknowledge and understand and to learn everything you can about them. I think it's less of an anti-existential thing and more of something where it's like searching too deeply into the existential end of things could lead to a very sobering outlook on um, reality. So, this is the one from Raphael, and so it begins with, and this is lines 63 in Book 8. It says, "And Raphael now, to Adam's doubt, proposed benevolent and facile, thus replied, To ask or search I blame thee not, for heaven is as the book of God before thee set, wherein to read his wondrous works, and learn his seasons, hours, or days, or months, or years." We talk about, or it talks about his seasons, hours, or days, or months, or years. I do think there is an added layer to this. If we're talking about seasons, we're probably talking about the many aspects, incarnations, or depictions of the way that sort of God presents himself. And I think that is an important distinction to make in relation to how we're going about learning things. At least within that spiritual realm, with regards to Paradise Lost, as it says right here. In Paradise Lost, it's attempting to, I think, depict the multitude of ways in which you can go about in understanding that the like quote unquote heavenly constructs. In Proverbs 1 from the scripture, it says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction." And I think for the first few verses, it's like the Proverbs of Solomon of David, king of Israel, for gaining wisdom and instruction, for understanding words of insight, for receiving instruction in prudent behavior, doing what is right and just and fair. It's a big emphasis throughout Proverbs and Psalms to discuss the sort of the intellectual aspect, or the growth of wisdom and learning in life and experience, or the experience of life. And Raphael is responding to when Adam says, "Something yet of doubt remains which only thy solution can resolve. When I behold this goodly frame, this world of heaven and earth consisting, and compute their magnitudes, this earth a spot, a grain, an atom, with the firmament compared, and all her numbered stars that seem to roll spaces incomprehensible," something in parentheses, I'm going to skip over it, "merely to officiate light round this opacious earth, this punctual spot, one day and night, In all their vast survey, useless besides reasoning, I oft admire how nature, wise and frugal, could commit such disproportions with superfluous hand, so many nobler bodies to create, greater so manyfold to this one use, and so on and so forth. But the idea here is that he is questioning the comparison between how small Earth is in comparison to what the heavens above are. And I think it is important to have that distinction in mind, just because there is the heavens portion of it doesn't make the earthly realm of things less relevant in, I think, terms of how it's presented in Paradise Lost itself, and in how it's presented throughout Scripture. See, again, the thing is that when we talk about these things in Paradise Lost, I do think it's important to approach things theologically, because Milton is drawing on a lot of references from Scripture. He's effectively pulling on pretty much all Old Testament and New Testament, and while Paradise Lost itself takes place in the time period of Genesis, or not shortly after Genesis, it is not in and of itself just specified within that area. This is the idea, is that John Milton, especially when he writes Paradise Lost, is he's trying to write the epic that will be the epic of all epics. That's kind of what he's trying to do. And what better way to do that than to write something about the moments preceding or succeeding creation in the Bible. So yeah. Anyways, like I said, this is more of a theological discussion with Paradise Lost. I hope a lot of what I had to say makes sense. If there's any questions or you have anything to add, let me know. And otherwise, have yourselves a wonderful rest of your day.